Hello! I'm so excited. Elizabeth is back.
Hi.
And we're kicking off the Feminine Energy Summit, which is going to happen all March long. Very coincidental. I didn't plan this, I swear to God. It is International Women's Week. So that's awesome. So Elizabeth is going to tell us how to actually, I'm going to let you. What are you here to tell us?
I am here today to talk about money myths and what is holding you back from having the amount of money, the amount of abundance that you want.
And Elizabeth, for those who didn't tune in last time, who are you and what do you do?
I am the founder of Sovereign Goddess Life Coaching. I am a life coach that focuses mainly on manifestation goals and the law of attraction.
Awesome. Awesome. Before we get started, have to give a shout out to Amber Rowan, who made my crown. I promised her I'd wear it every live, and I forget all the time. So, Amber Rowan.
Super cute.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. How do we get unstuck?
Right. So I thought that we would start off by just listing like a couple myths that are typical, and then we kind of dive into them and just feel our way out and see like if there's any questions regarding those things. I don't know if you want to do questions at the end, or as they come.
Yeah, people just tend to ask them as they come anyway, so why not?
Um, and then we come out of that in a way to fix the myth and turn it into a truth.
Yes, beautiful. So
Okay.
I see a couple people are watching, so say hi when you pop on. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us some hearts if you're loving this, and we're going to dive into it.
Okay, so my first myth is something that I feel like a lot of us tell ourselves from a very young age, and it is very much sewn into our roots by our parents and our elders in general and people that we look up to. And it's money is hard to make, right? You need to put in a ton of effort in order to get this money and this abundance flowing in your life. It's not simple. As a big X. It's not true, you guys. And so many people make it way harder on themselves than they need to. Because this has been drilled into our heads since we were this tall. You know, we have our parents that are fucking amazing, right? That worked the 9-to-5 job. And so that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to go to college and get a degree and all of these things, all of this super hard work before we get that payoff. I'm here to tell you that's not true. This is coming from a college dropout. So I did the right thing, and I went to college and was like, I'm gonna get a teaching degree and I'm gonna teach in a tiny town and be a little cute little school teacher, because that's always was like that's my dream. Hell no, it wasn't, you guys, at all. I was forced into that because I needed to think that I had to do all of these steps before I got the payout. Interesting. Have you found that in your life, Niche?
Yeah, I call it stories that are imposed upon us. Like my mom was very into going to school. Like,
yes,
I wanted to travel when I graduated high school, and she was,
yeah,
I don't care what you do, but you're going to school.
mm-hmm.
And I did a bunch of things that weren't really me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, I had to move out on my own just because of where we were. I had no idea what I wanted with my life. I knew I wanted to be a nurse, and I was discouraged from that. And I ended up, 5 years later doing it anyway. So totally, I did the college thing. I have like 2 diplomas, I think. Yeah, 2 diplomas, a couple of certifications, and I still ended up right here where I'm supposed to be, going against the grain. And definitely my mom was not supportive in the beginning, but she has come around, which I'm so happy about. My mom is now my VA.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. That's
So
so exciting.
this is really exciting. It's going to be a stiff learning curve to teach her what I want to teach her. But it's really funny because, a couple of months ago we got together.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's a little off topic, but I just had to say
No,
this.
please, please,
And,
please.
and she's like, because they have a contract way up north in the Northwest Territories, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to retire now." And I was like, "Maybe it'd be good for you." And she's like, "Maybe you'll need me by then." I'm like, "Oh yeah, maybe." And she's like, "Yeah, I can make all your travel arrangements," because I had just taken off to Bali with no notice, and she was like, "You did what
Oh my
again?"
God.
And I was like, this is gonna sound mean, but I was like, you'd be the worst virtual assistant ever because she's not
Mhm.
techie in any way,
Mhm.
but she manages. And now here we are, like 3 months later, and I'm like,
So
so
weird.
mom, how would you feel?
Oh
Yeah,
man. And she's totally on board with it.
he's like, yes.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
like, okay, I'm gonna have to teach you how to use MailChimp and like take over my email marketing, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it'll totally be fine.
Um,
That's awesome, you guys. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
congratulations.
totally unexpected turn.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, if Faith has someone who wants to come in, have her request and I'll do it while Elizabeth talks about some more myths.
Okay, yes, yes, yes. So, oh, that's kind of funny. I didn't remember this. This was by accident. But the second one is you need to go to college and get a good degree to have money. And oh my God, like I can't even tell you how many college students that I hear from a week or that I run into that are like, when I ask them, what would be the coolest thing for you to just get from God today? Like just be blessed with, like instantly. And almost every single person that I talk to, you guys, from the ages of like 23 to like 30, almost all of them say college debt. That is
Mm.
sad.
Like to
Oh,
erase their college debt.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Like tuition forgiveness.
yeah, yeah.
And I know so, and I'm sure every single one of you watching can name five off the top of your head right now of people that went to college and they did the right thing. And now they have $75,000 worth of debt. And
Mhm.
Nisha, I don't know if it's the same in Canada or not. In the United States, it's a fucking mess.
I think well, it kind of depends on the school and whatever, but I had about 30K in debt when I came out of school, and I didn't do 4 year degrees. I did 2 year diplomas. Um, and my parents still helped me a little bit.
That's really cool.
So, so yeah, but yeah, I still had 30,000, which I'm still paying off, 9 years later. I'm close, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Well, and so many of us are told from, like I said, very, very little and young that you need to go to college and you need to spend this money. You need that degree, or you're not going to be successful. You're not going to have money. You're going to be. I love my father, you guys. Like, my dad is a champ, but I will never forget him telling me that I would live in a cardboard box. I'm not, that's not a joke. Like, my father is an entrepreneur himself and like began at the nothing stage, right? Like his niche was like this big. Like, it's insane that my father is doing the things that he's doing. But he has a biology degree and like didn't need his degree at all, but yet it was still enforced in my head that I had to do this. I had to spend this money in order to be successful.
Yeah.
I am hella successful, you guys, and I'm a college dropout. Like, I'm making insane amounts of money. You do not need, and I'm sorry if that makes me sound pompous, that is not my intention at all. Like, at all, at all, at
Trigger it.
all.
Trigger it, baby.
Yeah. My point is that I don't have this college degree. Like I said, I'm a dropout and I'm living my fucking dream life. Like, could not get better than this. You don't
Yeah.
have to, right? Like, yeah.
And just for evidence, like Elizabeth's going to Hawaii in like a couple days, just
Yeah,
FYI.
2 weeks. Like 2 weeks. Like,
um,
fuck yeah.
yeah, I totally resonate with that, 100%. I think my mom had this fear of like if I didn't go to school, that somehow meant that I would just kind of like hang out and get pregnant at 18, and then that's just how things would go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an ugly cycle because
Hmm.
it's not, I mean, I know so many people that I could say right now, I'm not going to, but that are so far in debt that it's going to take them years. And they're working as like a bartender or, it's just things that you would never need a degree for, but then they like realize they're happy as fuck doing it.
Yeah.
Like chefs, how many like chefs go to school for like biochemistry and then end up finding their love for food? It's just, my point is that this goes on all the time and it's bullshit. It's not true. So if you have that belief system, rip it the fuck out. There's nothing wrong with going to college. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. So that's my stance on that. Okay. Do you want me to
What?
move on to the next one, or do you have something
Oh
to say?
yeah. Keep going.
Okay. So third one is having money makes you greedy, or somehow it's like thought of in a negative way.
Hmm.
This is weird because you guys, this stuff gets down to like the cartoons we used to watch. Like that is how ingrained this false belief system is. Every single rich person can you name one wealthy person from a cartoon that's nice? Like think about it. They're all like these evil like characters. I'm serious. It's really weird.
I'm laughing because Emily's like I just added her to the group. She's like, I always love it here because of the use of the fuck word. Yeah, Elizabeth
Yes,
and I are your people.
I do. I have a potty mouth. I don't really care.
Yeah, totally. No, I can't. They're like the mean guy going down on the little ones and like not sharing anything. Okay, you know what's coming up for me? Like The Simpsons and like Mr. Burns. Like,
Yes,
he's so
dude.
mean.
Yes. Or like there was that I'm a 90s child. So there was like this duck show and like the mean old duck like used to dive into like a pile of gold coins. Okay. It's like, do you have any? Well, you're not even from the United States, so I don't even know if they had it in Canada, but it was like called like DuckTales or something. It doesn't matter.
I know that name. Yeah,
Do
totally.
you? Okay.
I know the name, but my memory is not very good.
No,
Just
whatever. Um, my point is that I feel like Americans, and I don't know, maybe not necessarily Canada, I'm not sure, but Americans especially have like a thing with like if somebody's rich, they're not a good person.
mm,
And that's not true. And how weird is it that that's like forced into our heads from a young age? Isn't that bizarre?
and this is like comes up a lot in light workers, and I think I have a few
Mhm.
on here right now. So, if you have limiting beliefs about making a lot of money with your work, can you drop what they are for us?
Good idea.
Um, Emily is on your DuckTales
Yes.
tangent. She's all with you. Because I come across this a lot. Like, it's not spiritual to like charge for my services, so I'm about to just give it all free, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Not
you
true,
heard
guys. Yeah. And I can attest to that personally because before I launched my life coaching business, I worked as a psychic medium and I had so many people coming at me telling me that I shouldn't be charging for a God given gift. It absolutely is a God given gift, but it comes down to an energy exchange. And if the sides aren't equal, it's not going to work. It's going to bring forth a bitter fruit because it needs to be even. And if it's not, it falls apart. And it, like I remember when I like would do readings for free, and it's one thing to do it at like a charitable donation. That's completely different, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
because that's an energy exchange. I am
Yeah,
getting something for doing that for
exactly.
those kids or for whoever it's for. But
Actually talked about yesterday in my group, the Goddess Bizbabe Collective, how like if the energy exchange is off, it's gonna wear you down. Like you're gonna start to burn out.
yeah, and you get sick. It's not good
Yeah.
for you. And that's what I always try to encourage my fellow psychic medium friends, because I hated taking money from people.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard and you don't want to do it, and it's like you want to do things out of the goodness of your heart, but you can do things out of the goodness of your heart and be compensated for that, guys. And that's not taking anything away from the service that you're offering. It's making sure that you're taken care of so you can do more of the good.
Yeah.
So that's
Faith
what
had a question. Can you share how we release the belief of like when people say, I can't afford that?
ooh, that's a good one. I can't afford that. So this is interesting because I actually do this. Um, Start looking at things that you can't afford all the time and make it a reality that you like. It's okay. This is what I do. I'm just going to go by example. Maybe that will explain it in a better way, because this is kind of hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I love houses. I want my dream house, you guys, is a piece like a piece of land in California where I can like rescue animals, like on like a big farm animals.
Mm.
Yes, and help people heal. Like that's like my dream. So I go on realtor.com and I look at the most incredibly expensive properties that I can, so that in my mind it becomes the new normal. It's normal for me to think that I can have these properties because I'm looking at them every single day. I know what $6 million buys me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's turning those fears into normalcies. Like do you get what I'm trying to say here, Niche?
Totally. Just to kind of like add to that, recently Mike and I went to go look at a house. No, we had no intention of buying it whatsoever. Just every single time, it's like on the highway, and every
Mhm.
single time I drive past it, I felt drawn to this house for no reason. Like, we're not looking for a house. I'm not looking to buy a place here. I have other properties, and every single time. And then one day we drove by and there were cars there, and I was like, maybe that house sold. And sure enough, it didn't. And he encouraged me to go ask for a viewing, and so we did. And I was like, oh well, it was a lot smaller than we thought. I'm like, okay, well, it was nice to look. The view is incredible, and now I have this image in my head, and I have the MLS listing on my empowerment board. But as we're like, okay, well, that was okay, but it's not a dream house, like it kind of brought me back to reality. Yeah, it's nice, but as we're leaving, my sign is an owl, and there is a huge owl figurine hanging from the roof in front of these huge pane windows.
Whoa.
And like since then, just the trajectory of everything had just been like boom, 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 boom. So yeah, for whatever reason, Spirit needed me to go see this house. So I totally get that. And I'm not like a house person, so I don't like look at houses all the time. But my big thing is like I add a lot of pictures to my screensaver, so it like flips through like 10K in my PayPal account, for example, or like anything that I want to buy, and big affirmations on there. So I totally get that. And so, yeah, if you surround yourself with the things that aren't your norm now, you're going to up level into that. Like, it's already here for you in the 5D experience, right? You're just bringing it into 3D. Like, you're
Yes.
just switching.
Yes, it's like exposing yourself over and over and over again to something that you once thought you couldn't have. It's exposure to that thing over and over and over and over and over again so you can reprogram your mind to thinking that having that thing would be normal. That
Mhm.
you it's like stripping it down to like the absolute minimum, and like that you're just going to walk in the kitchen and get a glass of water, right? Like that's just something that you're positive you can do. It's bringing it to that level. So it just happens naturally. I hope that answers the question.
There are ways to coach through, like if you have objections of, I can't afford.
Mhm.
Um, oh, more questions. Oh gosh, I can't even keep up. Okay. um, there are a way to coach through objections, but more often than not, the energetic side is going to have more impact than you saying, well, how important is this to you, for example?
Mhm.
Okay. Faith also wants to know, how can we get ready to take a big income leap with ease? So I think she means we're quantum leaping. She's going through a lot of shifts recently.
It's exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, how to get comfortable with that belief that you're going to have a higher income. Is that what she means?
I think she believes, I'm speaking for her now because we're in contact quite a bit, but just stepping into that without, I don't know, Faith, if you can elaborate, please. But yeah, just like stepping into that with no
Mhm.
issues, I guess. But honestly, I always have up level pain, so I don't know on that one.
Oh, I see what you mean. I just went through this. Oh my gosh, yes. Like coming into your new like energy. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
being a higher income with ease. So she knows she's about to come into some money,
Yeah.
real money, and yeah, just stepping into that with ease. And she's also, really stepped into some healing abilities. Oh,
Oh.
preparing to launch big programs and releasing all the fear, energy, scarcity behind this. Yeah, so there's a what if I'm wrong? What if people don't buy from me? What if people criticize me? I think that's kind of where she's going with all this.
Your roots. Like roots that you need to take out. So I think my biggest piece of advice for somebody that is going through like the way that I picture this, you guys, and maybe you can jive with this, maybe you won't, but when I look at my life, I look at it as a garden, and I think we might have actually talked about this last time. Um, and going through the garden and picking out the weeds, right? The things that are holding our life experiences back from springing forth in a bountiful way.
Mhm.
And what I have learned over and over and over again, I mean, I studied under people from England and had so many mentors before I like embarked on like this as like a full-time thing, not knowingly doing it for my position, but I just see spirit so much in my past before I got to this point. Every single one of the biggest, like the huge spiritual leaders that I've met have always said, Nisha, you just got like super close to the camera. And I was like, oh, she's
I'm
too.
really, really interested. Sorry.
It just made me laugh because I feel like you're here with me. Like
I am here
engaging.
with
I know, it's so far out. So, um, the biggest thing that they've always said to me is that you need to find time to sit with spirit. And what that means is just sitting in your beautiful innate being and sharing with whatever you feel, whether it's God, like spirit guides. I just refer to everybody on the other side as spirit. That's what I'm comfortable with. Sitting in those spheres, and I want you to go through from the top to the bottom, why you're feeling this way, and explaining this to spirit and saying, I'm ready to release this now. And it's really like a beautiful meditative process. I am somebody that suffers crazy anxiety attacks. Huge. Like scary ones, where like I'm like out of control. I mean, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. That's something that my life has that I've journeyed through in my life, and it was really scary for a while. And that is what I did. Is every single time I came to one of those pivotal moments when I knew I was going to have like a fear attack, I would sit with spirit and I would take 5 minutes to turn on some nice music. The Lord of the Rings soundtrack is awesome. I love it. It's beautiful. And sitting with those fears and going through from top to bottom why you're feeling them, and then acknowledging that it's bullshit and that you can release it. And not even that it's bullshit, but just that it doesn't apply to you. It's not something that's serving your soul. And then you need to just be able to step back and release it and say, I personally say, Spirit, I don't want this load anymore. Please take it from me. And you eventually get to the point where they're gone. And those thoughts aren't holding you back anymore. And then you can bloom.
Mm-hmm. I've definitely been in the bath more than once. And possibly with my yoni eggs. And been like, all right, this is hella painful. I'm calling in everybody, like everybody who's around me, all the angels, all the everybody. I need you now.
Yes.
Help me move past this. Help me release, right? And I love working with crystals in that sense to like just help me move forward. And my journaling of like, what needs to shift? Okay, like, or is there nothing and I just need to chill the fuck out?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's kind of where I resonate with that as well. Yeah, totally. I'm like, everybody, come on. I need you, and just surrender it all because I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust you, but I fucking need your help right now.
I can do it on my own. It's a beautiful surrender. And through that moment of vulnerability, healing can come in. And I realize, you guys, that I sound like the total like freebird hippie. This stuff works. Like it's totally authentic. It's real. Nisha, I feel like you're extremely real. Like you're gonna call bullshit on something that you're like, oh, that doesn't sound right. She backs this. It's because it's like 100% truth. It's just spiritual beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work, you walk away with a beautiful meditation session.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think anybody in this group is in the woo-woo closet, and if they are, we're about to light this shit up.
Welcome! Put down the lights.
So, I think we got sidetracked on the false money belief. So let's circle back.
Yes.
There is more, yeah?
Yeah. I have 2 more.
Okay.
So this one is also really interesting because it's attaching happiness to our manifestation goals. I know. I did this for the longest time and I had no clue I was doing this.
Yeah.
And they'll truth bomb you. Like you're gonna be like pissed off and they're like, what's going on? Like I'm doing everything right. And then for one, Spirit never talks to us when we're in like the crazy mode. They always wait. Because when you're going crazy and you're like, I don't get it, oh my God, you're in a moment of release, and your soul, even if Spirit was going to tell you exactly what you needed to do, like step by step by step, you wouldn't be able to absorb it because your soul is in a moment of release. So they'll wait until you're chilled out and until you've had a cup of coffee or whatever you needed to simmer down. And I'm not going to say it's going to happen immediately because it doesn't like always, but you will get an answer within the next couple days. Generally, that's how it works for me. And with this in particular, Spirit was saying, hey, Beth, I know that you're going to be so happy when you are living in California on your ranch. We understand that. We need you to be happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because if we attach happiness, I'm going to be happy then in the future, and don't apply it right here, right now, you guys, your manifestations are going to be like if you ride in a car and somebody has it in the wrong shift and you're like, it's really, really hard for spirit to make our manifestations come true because you're not fueling it with that positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this stuff runs off of. Happy vibes, being spiritual
Mm-hmm.
as fuck, being aligned as fuck,
Yeah.
and loving life is like taking a gas can, putting it in your manifestation car, and starting it the fuck up. It's true, dude. So
Mm-hmm.
true.
I think I have to share my story because when you're saying this, like tears actually started running down my face because this was me only a few weeks ago. I was just like so friggin' frustrated, and I was actually messaging Elizabeth, and I was like, "I'm done. Like, I'm outie. I'm closing this group. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing the entrepreneur thing anymore. I'm no. I'm tired of it. It's too hard. It's too like all kinds of shit in my head just going on, and I don't know what triggered it all, but I was like, nope, throwing in the towel. I'm done with this. And you know what? The line pretzel community won't exist any longer, and those 700 people, they'll find someone else to hold space for them. And I was just frantic. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start applying for jobs. Like that's just what I'm gonna do. Because I'm trying to think if it was income, and I don't think it was. I think I was just like so tired of just everything, of everything. And
Mhm.
then Mike and I went for a car ride, and I just had this like solemn of like, yep, I'm quitting. That's it. And then finally, when I released it all, I got like, oh, I remember what happened now. I'm trying to think. That's when I channeled a letter to myself from Spirit, which I'd never ever done before. Sure, I get messages and downloads all the time, but like I was just journaling away of what I really wanted my life to look like. And I had this clear as day message. And I was just like, holy crap. I was like, I can't quit, right? Because as soon as I just like relaxed the fuck out and just said, okay, whatever, instead of like swirling my mind, I had this letter in front of me, and I was like, holy shit, I don't even know what to do with this. And I can't believe this just happened to me. And I was texting Elizabeth like, you're not gonna believe what happened. Then I kid you not, the next day I had someone sign with me. I had a one-on-one client sign with me when I'm like, I'm gonna quit. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I had been waiting for an affiliate link to be approved, which had been taking months and months and months, and they just like approved it. And you know, it's not based on your followership and like you know how many people on your email list, etc. And I was like, oh well, they're obviously not going to approve me because I don't have enough, and they did, right? And that's how fast just things just turn around. And now I have another stream of income that I joined in last week. So yeah, I just want to say that that is so true, so true. I was having tears. Hannah is here. You have enough. Yes, I was talking about a few weeks ago. I was just like on the verge of quitting, and then, but I think on every entrepreneur is like that, and
For sure.
now here we are.
Mhm. Oh my God, you guys, I can just share just a little piece because you just summed it up. But I totally did that. In fact, I did it like literally, Nisha, within like a day or two of you. And I'm incredibly tapped in. Like I speak to my guides from the second I wake up in the morning until the second I go to sleep. My like channel with spirit is continuous. Thank God. Because I can't imagine living my life without my guides. Like, fuck, you know? I can't. I like my hands like are up. Like I can't do this by myself, you know. Um, and I lost it, and I like didn't know what to do. And what you need to just be able to find your place, and just, and what I mean by that, because that sounds way more difficult than what I mean, literally just taking a deep breath. And like, when, even when you can't, you guys, like, even when it's like, oh my God, how the hell am I going to get out of this? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath. Really just like hanker down for 5 minutes and let it be, and just walk away. Just let it be. And pray about it, sing, dance, do whatever you need to do. Break out your boogie shoes, like turn on Disney hits from when we were like young and free with no anything holding us back, right? Like Ellen gets it. That's why she dances every
Eh,
often.
Ellen's doing pretty good, so you can take that as a cue.
Yes. Um, my point is that if you can find just that second, just grab onto anything you can, take a deep breath, and allow those feelings to just take it off. You don't need to wear it. You don't need to be the perfect person. You don't need to have the perfect job. Not every month is going to be a fucking awesome month, where you're bringing in $30,000, $40,000. Sometimes you're going to have months where you don't feel like you're even like anybody's hearing you. And this is just entrepreneurship, but this applies to every area of your life. You are not always going to be in a bountiful season, and that is when we learn the most.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Praise
Yes.
that, right? Thank God I am going through this valley right now, because if I hadn't, I would have no fucking clue how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it may be in your bountiful season, we bless the hardship and we say, thank you. May I have another? Because we learn and we grow and we are a better person because of it. And that is so fucking gorgeous. Like, that's a beautiful thought. So feel your feelings 110% the way through. I feel like that is also a huge false truth with law of attraction, is you're not allowed to feel negative. You're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to feel bad. That is bullshit. It's bullshit. And you're going to have tough days, like I said, but you need to feel that feeling from the top all the way to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out why you're feeling that way and let it go.
Yeah. There's feeling bad, and then there's like marinating in it forever and allowing it to hold you back, right? Like there's a big difference,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Huge.
Yeah. Okay. Next, because we'll never get through everything we wanted to talk about today.
I love it.
Not shocking.
I do too. I do too. It's nice when you've got like a good vibe going, and it just feels easy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was on the Digital Revolution podcast last week, and I was like, man, I just want to talk about this much, and it barely ended up happening because, yeah, you're just like vibing with the person you're with and loving the energy. But yeah, totally.
Yes, I love it. So my final one, I don't even know how long we've been live for.
Like 40 minutes. Oh, it's 1:11. Ah, over here, it's 1:11.
Oh, that's not here. I don't know. I would check my clock, but it's wrong. That's my life.
If it's 1:11 here, it should be 2:22 where you are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So whatever. You're good. You're good. I don't care. I have nowhere to be. Here with you, with these beautiful souls. Do you like my top, or do you think it's a bit much?
Actually, I was looking at it. I'm like, I really, really like this. Like,
Yeah.
it very much suits you.
I feel like it embodies my soul. Okay, I do have another one that's gonna drive me nuts. Hey, so moving on.
To
I
false
want
money beliefs, yes. For
I wanted to talk a little bit about soft versus hard manifesting. So I need to get this off or it's gonna drive me crazy. So just hold on. I'm so sorry, but I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to be able to vibrate as high.
Well, Faith thinks your sweater is really cute. And yeah, hard and soft manifesting. I saw you talking about this the other day, but or maybe it was in a poll or something. I forget. But anyway, this isn't something that I talk about. So I'm all ears.
Okay. So I just learned about this. That's why this journey is so amazing because you like it's like step by step, you never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something called hard and soft manifesting. And it is such like because I know lately I have had to be really, really gentle with myself. And I've been bruised easily lately, like it's been, and I know I speak for more than one person when I say the past month has been energetically like tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people have been going through stuff, Niche. Like a
Yeah.
ton of people I know have. And I mean to the point where like I'm a part of a spiritual culture here in Wisconsin, like a group in Appleton where I live. And I have been talking to people and like people are like going to like the hospitals and stuff, like with sicknesses this past month. It's so strange.
Okay.
So, oh, I thought you were going to be like, oh, there's a story to this.
Nope. Keep going.
Oh, I got excited.
I'm just really, really, really interested in this.
So all these people were getting sick and it's just been energetically crazy. So if you've been feeling that way, it's totally like you are justified in that feeling. Be really kind to yourself right now. We are going through a shift. So hard and soft manifesting is a really beautiful thing to do during these periods of like trials, I guess, or you're going through your valleys, because it gives manifesting like a gentler approach. And it's easier for us to feel like happy when our manifestations come to fruition because they're smaller. Smaller does not always mean worse. It's like if you could get a small manifestation that would come to fruition every single day, you would be high vibing. Like it would be so wonderful. So soft manifestations, I'm just going to break it down. Soft manifestations are things like my goal today is going to be happy 100% of the day. Mm-hmm. So that's a soft manifestation. And a hard manifestation is I want to have $500 in my bank account by 6:00 tonight. It's a much more aggressive approach. Nothing wrong with that. I love aggressive goals, but sometimes it's nice to have a little break from that and let yourself recharge and do a softer one. Like by 5:00 tonight, I want to attract a cup of coffee, something small, or I want to have a very peaceful, beautiful day. And it's not specific, but it's still just as good as investing the $500. I think it is. I guess it depends on how you equate things, but it's taking that more gentle approach to manifesting to really allow yourself to have that gentle time. And then you can smash your giant, because I know I don't know about you. I've got giant goals. Like
oh yeah. Yes. They didn't keep getting bigger.
Yeah. One of mine, you guys, I'm going to share a secret with you. So by this time next year, well, here, no, because it's not January anymore. Holy
no, it's not January.
Isn't it crazy that it's like springtime?
Seriously, I mean, it doesn't look like spring outside where I am, but yeah.
So it's like forever a barren tomb. So not January anymore. I feel like a fucking bear sometimes. Like I hibernate through the winter, and then like the one like blade of grass will come out, and I'll like stagger out my front door like with a cup of coffee in my like ratty robe.
Yeah. Hey, you're talking to a Taurus. So when I see green, I'm about to jump out barefoot outside.
Yes. So but my goal, my secret that nobody knows really except for one other person. So I want to be on a private jet going to Vegas, Nevada next January.
Whoa.
I don't know why. That's like, I love having like one really, really solid, like really big goal
Mhm.
for the year because it gives you something like that you can just kind of stash, like put like a penny in a day. You know,
Mm.
it's not like you don't have to because it's a year away. So it's not like I have to like put like 100% of my energy into it. I can just like put a few nickels and quarters in, you know? And then at the end, I mean, these things happen like all the time. So I know it's going to happen,
Mhm.
but it's just kind of fun. So,
So I'm really curious on your thoughts on like, so a couple people in my community have come to me like some law of attraction coaches tell them like if they want a 10K month, for example, that you need to set a smaller goal.
mhm.
And so I'm curious on your thoughts on that, just in general, because I see the value of manifesting like a cup of coffee, and I seem to do that without trying. um, because yeah, you're like, woohoo, or you find a dollar on the ground. But yeah, I know a lot of coaches are kind of like, okay, no, be smaller, like think smaller. That's too much. So I would love your thoughts on this.
Yeah. I don't feel like anybody has, and I'm not trying to offend like everybody, and I say this on my group too. I am one human being with one thought process or like one brain, and I've had one experience. This is not going to fit 100% of all of you. So, not no offense, but because I really, my aim is not to like do any of that. But I do not think anybody has a right to tell you what you can and can't manifest.
Mhm.
I have the craziest fucking story. I mean, I don't know. I literally, you guys, what, I mean, Jesus, niche. It's been like what, like a month? It's been like a month and a half. 8 weeks ago, I'm gonna just go 2 months because I'll do the bigger side, even though I think it's less than that. 8 weeks ago, I was sitting on a leather couch in a bougie home, and I don't know if you can see from, my rags to riches on my head. I am not very fancy. I was sitting in a bougie ass house taking care of three wonderful children that I adored. Um, that is true. 100%. Like I could like make me cry because I miss them so much. But working a nanny job, making $15 an hour, which is nothing. I
Nope.
mean, if we're being honest, and working literally 50 plus hours a week and coming home to just do the same thing. Clover, go away. Over and over.
Like you're talking about nanny, and he's like, no.
Yeah, she knows though, because animals know our struggles.
Totally.
Um, I went from that 8 weeks ago to literally heading to Hawaii in 6 days for 2 weeks in a private beach house, right across the street from the Mokes on Oahu. I have my mortgage taken care of for the next 6 months. My husband is going to be able to retire in the fall, and I'm living my fucking dream life. This was 8 weeks, my friends. And that is not saying that there is anything special about me. That's my point. Is
Mm-hmm.
this in like I that's like not even, I mean, my story. That doesn't even scratch the surface of all the shit that I've gone through. Like crazy stuff. Really crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And stuff that you don't even know. That's 8 weeks of time. So no, that's bullshit. I don't buy that. I don't buy that there is a limit to anything that you can manifest. I know that there are tons of people out there that are going to tell you that you are fucking nuts. I do know that. But that is because they're fucking terrified and they don't have the guts to do what you're going to do. And that speaks volumes about them, says nothing about you. And remember that, because there are going to be so many people in your life that are going to tell you that you dream too big or that you can't do that. That doesn't fit. It's not how this works. I'm going to say eloquently, to fuck your beliefs. It's not up to them. Like it's not. It's your journey, my friends. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. And these coaches, I get where they're coming from. They
Mhm.
don't want people to think, oh, because this isn't like a client, they wouldn't want a client to think, oh, it didn't happen, so that coach isn't right. They're lying. This
Mm.
isn't true. They want you to start really small so that you can build the process and you can see that this is real. I understand that. But I am also going to tell you that you can get the insane results too. It just depends on how far you're willing to push yourself. So that's my take on that.
Thank you for sharing that. I really like that. Yeah, that makes total sense. Because I'm like, no, go bigger.
Sorry.
It's
Clover,
all
go.
good. Um, we're almost an hour in, so can we talk just really quickly about how important your language is in manifesting? And I think I'll talk about this in a live later, but of course, want your input too, because Elizabeth is here and we love her.
Love you guys. Go on now. So sassy. She's my rough collie. So this is huge, you guys. Sorry. I threw a sweater at her just so nobody's like, she just got something at her dog. It was like a nice wool hammock sweater, like a nice shrug. So it is super important. And I don't know if you can feel it or not, but when somebody negative walks into the room and has that negative speech, it's like taking a fucking katana and slicing. It feels disgusting. And I'm sorry. If somebody's negative, I'm going to fucking call them on their shit. And if they're saying those negative things, all that is doing is saying to your mind over and over and over and over again that something isn't right, it feels gross, it's bleh. And so then in return, you're going to feel that and you're just going to keep getting more of that. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a way like a factory runs, Your mouth it says things and it like throws things out onto a web that your eyes see and then they take in and then you start feeling that way. Do you like I know that's like a really far out way of saying it. I know. This is like not how my brain works though.
No, totally. So even myself, I still catch myself, or sometimes my coaches will check me or like, I hope instead of no, it's happening, or words like that. Like, and I actually thankful when people call me out on it because it's so
Yes.
ingrained in us. Like, oh, I wish, or I can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're just like, again, back to childhood. That's kind of how we're raised, right? Like, this is you just kind of, like my mom still says to me, I pray every day that you will be at least break even. I'm like, oh, mom,
Thanks,
of course
Mom.
you will. Of course.
Jesus. Thanks, Mom. Just kidding. Just kidding. I get it. My mom's the same way. I get it.
Yeah, and so our language is so important, like the words that we choose, like I hope instead of like I'm doing this,
I completely
right?
agree. Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I was raised by a third grade teacher who has sunshine coming out of her mouth every second of the day. My mother is like a woodland cherub. She's the best thing in the entire world. So positive. So I am really blessed, I guess, grateful, thankful, like so honored that I come from a family that is so incredibly positive. Because there are so many people that come from families that are like, I don't, Jack Canfield actually is the one that comes to mind, where his dad literally told him from a young age that he would never amount to anything.
Mm.
Um, I am very, very blessed, I should say, that I come from where that's natural, where you're constantly looking for the bright side of things.
Mm.
But it is so important, you guys, because it's like reinstilling in your head. It's like when you listen, oh, this is a good example. You know when you're lifting at the gym. And I don't know if any of you girls lift weights. I know that when I turn on Godsmack and go,
Oh God!
I'm
Yes.
being real. I know when I listen to Godsmack, when I'm going to my squat rack, I'm gonna kick fucking ass. It's just true. I know this weird hippie listens to all sorts of weird shit. Just being honest. Um, Words have a enormous effect on how we feel, and it just goes right back to what we were saying about the gas tank. The way you feel is gasoline in the manifestation tank. So keep that in mind. And I tell a lot of my clients, sound therapy, my friends. Turn on a piece of really beautiful music and you are going to feel like a beautiful being, or like you somehow manifest that happy vibe from just like 5 minutes. That's like all it takes me is like, or if you want to turn into a beast and be like hardcore, like I'm a fucking goddess. Beyonce is amazing. What was that? Were you dancing?
I might have like headbanged a little bit and the crown fell. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I thought you just like fell off your bed.
No. I've actually been like standing and like doing mini yoga poses this entire call.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Um, yeah, totally. So you mentioned at the beginning of this live, for the people who missed it, that you really like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for some
Mm,
sound therapy, and so I want to give some recommendations
yeah.
um, from my yogaing days. Um, the Album Leaf is the name of the band, the Album Leaf. And and I always put this on when I'm journaling or creating content. It's there's hardly any words. It's mostly instrumental, and it's just, and I hate that kind of music. Give me some words, but this song just like makes me feel so good. Like it brings me back to the place where there is just like light from my being, right,
Mhm.
and just protruding, and yeah, it's just so beautiful. That's my recommendation
I love
for light therapy. So we have approached an hour already. I can't even believe that, and we got through one thing that we wanted to talk about of like three.
it.
What are you gonna do?
We vibed.
Exactly. People heard what they needed to hear.
Yes.
So if you do have any questions for Elizabeth or myself, please drop them in the comments. And if you have them on the replay, feel free to drop them there as well, and we'll come back and answer. She is in the group, so no worries. She's not going anywhere. Yeah, and so if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about how you do the law of attraction, where can they find you?
Sure. So I can actually drop the link in the comments if you don't care. And
Please.
the Sovereign Goddess Life Coaching Group, you are going to find me in there. And I will also be tooting around the Aligned Pretzel. I'm here all the time. I love it here. It's a second home to me. So you can also, it is my friend.
I
Yes.
hear that a lot, and I'm just like, thank you guys. Thank you.
It's very homey. It's very like Grandma Cottage with vaginas. You know? I love it. But I'll post mine in the group in the comments below, and I'll also be around here. I'm never far away. Slap your heels.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Grandma Cottage with vaginas. I think
Yeah,
I need like some kind of referral on that. Put that on my website.
cross
If you
stitching.
want grandma cottages with vaginas,
Yes.
hop on over. Oh my gosh. Okay. And for myself, if you guys are looking to work with me, there is an application that you can fill out in the description. In this group, it says apply to work with Nisha. Yeah, so thank you so much for everyone joining us live and on the replay. Really appreciate it. Actually, tomorrow we are having an unexpected guest.
Ooh.
Julia, and I'm probably going to screw up her last name, Julia Ryan, is going to hop by, and we're actually going to talk about some body positivity and March mindfulness.
Mm.
And she has also been on here before, and she is a wealth of information. She's actually a nutrition coach. Yes, so excited for that. So the Feminine Energy Summit will be going on throughout the month, and each week we'll have at least one guest. This week we have two.
Yay!
So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your time. So love having you in here so much. And again, you guys, if you have questions for us or anything comes up afterwards, drop them in the comments or you know how to find us.
Yes, love you all.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.